A question I get from all the chicks is how to get a crispy mix. This rhyme isn't going well. Hi. So we discussed how to layer your leads, but I never really went into detail on how to get a nice kick-lead balance or how to set up your reverb and delay. So let's do that today. Accidental rhyme is not a crime. If you think it's worth to mock, go ahead and suck my penis. We sidechain the delay and reverb so you can have much more of both of them without the effect taking punch and crispiness away from your leads. So every time your leads do the talking, your reverb and delay shut the fuck up. Before we can do any fancy tricks, we need to make sure our leads are as dry as possible. So make sure to turn off the internal reverb and delay in your lead presets if there's any enabled in the plugin. In case of drinks, dry means it's not sweetened. This has nothing to do with the leads, but at least now I keep the attention of you alcoholic fucks. We need the leads to be dry, as we're going to use the leads themselves to tell the sidechaining plugin when to work, and it gets confused by internal reverb. Let's send all the leads to a new channel. This is gonna be your Leadbus. I don't care much about how you process your leads, as there's a lot of variation, but I like to keep it simple. An EQ, sometimes a Q tag for crispy highs, something to monitor stereo wideness, and everything else is free for automation clip effects. This is not the only way to do it, as every lead type is different, but whatever you do, add an EQ with the low cuts around 130, 140 or even 200 Hz, just to make sure your leads won't fuck with the bass from your kicks. Speaking of kicks, we're gonna need some. I like to promote honest and independent creators, and luck has it one of them makes amazing kick packs. I've used his kicks in all of my MIDI packs and I'm gonna do it again in this video. He offers free updates and he has been doing that for a while now with more than 250 unique kicks. And because he is insane, most of them come pre-pitched. You can be sure you'll find something you'll like. He's also generous enough to give you, my loyal subscribers, right? Unrelated, but please subscribe. A 42% discount on this insane pack if you use code SAWER. You can find the link for this amazing deal somewhere in the description, go check it out. After placing all the kicks, I'm sending all of them to one mixer channel, which I'll call Tail. I cut the punch from all of them and replace them with a unique made kick, so I have more control over it. This one is sent to a new mixer channel named Jeff, but you are free to call yours Punch if you like. I like a bit of reverb on my punches, so let's add fruity reverb too. Set the decay time to roughly 0.4 to 0.5 milliseconds, so it won't overlap as much with the punch after it. And click the tempo bit on the decay knob. If your song is doublet, turn it to the second dot thingy. If it's triplet, a little past that will do. Use your own judgment. After having done that, give it a low cut. Now you've made a short reverb that pops up in the offbeat and dies down before the next one hits. You can also do this with an automation clip or even sidechain it, but those are adventures for another day. Something else that does matter a lot and rarely gets brought up is making sure your song isn't redlining. What I mean by this is that your song doesn't need to be at max volume. A bit of breathing space allows your final mixdown to feel a lot more powerful. Louder doesn't mean harder. That's a problem for the mastering process. See it as a conversation, right? They're already talking at the same time, which is hard enough to follow, but us Netflixing homework making youth are used to multitasking like that. However, if one of the two starts to shout, you won't hear the other one. If both start to shout, you walk away, as none of them are making any sense and neither are fun to be around. Essentially, just make sure your master channel doesn't look like a brick. See my 5 common hardstyle production mistakes video for more about this. Before we can sidechain, we need to give it something to sidechain to. It doesn't matter too much what kind of reverb or delay you use, but what you need to do is make separate channels for your reverb and delay. So be a dear and do this real quick for me, okay? After you did that, just send your Leadbus to these. As I said, use whatever reverb or delay plugin you are comfortable with and can afford. I like the kind of pricey Valhalla reverb with the long stereo halt preset, but whatever plugin and settings you choose, the wetness needs to be all the way up. And if there's a knob for the dry signal, you need to make sure that one is all the way down. This makes sure the channel doesn't add any loudness to your leads and allows you much more control over the reverb. I'm sure you watch a lot of videos on production, which is probably why you are so smart. I have a lot more of these and I would love to have someone as handsome as you are to be subscribed to me. And while you're at it, it would help me out if you like the video and comment about how you do your lead mixing down below. For sidechaining I prefer Fruity Limiter as it comes with FL and I didn't bother looking for something else. Go to the sidechain trigger window, right click and find your lead signal. Now that it knows what to react to, we can set our reaction settings. With the threshold we tell after what loudness it's allowed to act, so turn this down. Ratio decides how much it should act if the sound goes over your threshold. Drag this up till it kills roughly half of all the reverb, depending on your preference. I know people kind of disagree on preferring a short or long release time, but with this you decide how fast the reverb or delay signal comes up after the lead stops making sound. Play with it, find out what you like, or copy my settings. Our reverb is done. For the delay we can pretty much clone the entire channel and replace the reverb plugin with the delay plugin. Anyways, again, pick whatever you like and can afford. I went with Fruity Delay 3 as I spent all my money on a reverb plugin. Make sure to again disable the dry signal and the readiness should be all the way up. A lot of potential for dirty jokes there, but we are better than that. I said but. Making your reverb and delay work in separate channels has a lot of advantages, but one of the biggest ones, in my opinion, is tweaking the loudness with channel faders if you leave the width of the plugins all the way up. You can also tweak a reverb with a lot more freedom by using the other slots for additional effects. I often add a fruity balance so I can turn them off to enhance a kick roll, for example, but you can make it as wild as you like. We're gonna sidechain everything to the kick as well. For this we need to make a trigger. This can be any sound you want, so I went with the zaag kick in its only acceptable use. Dead quiet. With this you're gonna make the shortest audio file FL allows, and you'll place this every time a punch hits. This allows nice sidechaining during kick rolls. This sound, not unlike my voice, is impressively annoying, but bear with me. This is sent to its very own mixer channel. Now while staying in the mixer, let's send the leads, reverb and delay all to a new channel and unlink them from the master channel. This way they all need to go to this new mixer channel before they go to the master channel. Send the trigger signal to this channel as well, but by right clicking this arrow and selecting sidechain to this track only. This way that sound won't sound anymore, which sounds solid to me. Add Fruity Limiter or any other sidechaining capable plugin. Select your trigger signal, threshold down, ratio up, and make the release kind of short. You want just a crisp bit of your punch to get more freedom. This way you make more room for the punches without making it sound like you did. After this we resort to the ancient art of leveling. Play with the volumes of your leads, reverb, delay and kicks until you're happy. This is how I do my lead mixing. In music there's not just one way to do things, so let's discuss what I missed and or whatever you prefer to do yourself. And if you want to talk about anything else in a video, you can of course tell me all about that in the comments. I intend to reply on everything, so see you there. If you want some fun sounds to play with, you should check out my HARDSTYLE Serum bank I did with Fruity Masters. It has recently been updated and compared to most other banks you get a whole lot more for your money. 124 presets for just 15 bucks and free updates is laughably cheap compared to most other similar packs. That's what happens when you care more about the customers than the revenue. Links can be found in the description, and to celebrate the recent update, the first 50 people can get 40% off with discount code V4. It was a true pleasure to be your host once again. Till next time.